It's actually a big part of the reason why you exist. All right, let's keep going.
Issues and attitudes. Number 3, I'm allowed to have my preferences. Technically, you're right. You're allowed to have your preferences and you don't have to change anything. But there's more to it than that, and ignoring the deeper issues by stopping at a surface level analysis doesn't do this issue any justice. Like, you're allowed to
Let's pause it for a minute. There's not more to it than that. There's not. You're allowed to have your preferences, and there's not more to it than that. That's why they're your preferences and not Riley's preferences. Most of you don't have Riley's preferences. Some of you might. Cool. Whatever. Good for you. But you don't have to analyze it any more than that at all. And anyone who says that you do is lying to you, and they're a bit of an ass. All right, let's keep going.
Have a lot of things. You're allowed to have prejudice towards trans people, but that doesn't mean you should. So if we look a little deeper into this issue, there's the possibility of your genital preferences being at least somewhat partially informed by growing up in a cis-sexist society. There's also the fact that a preference is different than saying you would never do something. Like, having a preference for tall girls is fine, but refusing to date anyone under 5'7" is ridiculous. And obviously that's not a perfect analogy because short girls...
Riley's telling you that it's ridiculous to not date anyone under 5 whatever. No, it's not. I mean, maybe you don't want to. And as I said before, I want you to feel good about yourself. And you know what? If you think short girls are gross and dumb, you don't have to tell them that. But you can feel whatever you want. But the point is, I don't know, we should base things on people's personalities. But we're talking about genitals right now. We're talking about genitals. Let's talk about genitals. You can prefer whatever genitals that you want to hang out with. All right, let's keep going.
Girls as a group don't face the societal marginalization that trans women do. But I'm interested in having a conversation about labels and implicit bias and trans-inclusive language. Simply saying, it's my preference, end of discussion, is a good way of sidelining all of those issues and instead centering the feelings of cis people in a discussion that's...
Riley keeps saying implicit bias, implicit bias, implicit bias. You know, sometimes things like bias and prejudice and all this other stuff, sometimes it's all based on experience. You know? Like, I don't know, like every time you see someone who's cross-eyed and they punch you in the face, you get to hate cross-eyed people. You know? That's fine. It's totally cool. You can feel anything you want, and it doesn't make you a bad person necessarily. You know, yeah, you can feel anything towards anyone. We're all individuals. That's a thing to keep in mind. None of us are the same, and we don't know another person based on how they look, unless it's kind of written on their t-shirt and it says, you know, I hate you because of so-and-so. Then, you know, you can assume that's true, but you know what I mean. Riley lives in a world where you aren't supposed to judge Riley's choices, Riley's life choices, Riley's gender and sexual preferences. We're not supposed to judge that, but Riley then tells us to look internally and to question ourselves. And you know what? To tell someone to question their preferences and to analyze it and to overanalyze it,